Hello, hello. Flip this over. Hello. Hello, my name is Pamela Mitchell. I am an office management consultant specializing in tax advising for entrepreneurs and freelancers, independent contractors. Um, I specialize in setting up their books, making sure that they are in compliance with the IRS when it comes to keeping up with their records. In addition to that, I also work with individuals in managing their money for tax purposes. Also, not certain things, personal things, you are able to deduct on your taxes for deductions and credits. Thank you for joining me. Hello. So this is going to be a quick scope. Tax tips for some students working this summer. Graduation season has started. Last week I attended a graduation. There's actually one scheduled. Actually, my alma mater is scheduled for this weekend. In addition to my full time job, their graduation is scheduled this weekend also. So it's graduation season. There are people. There are students that are going to be out for the summer. If they have not found a job after graduation, they're going to be looking for something. So that's what we are going to cover, tax tips for students working this summer. Um, let's see. So with that, if you are a student who is currently not working and you are planning to start working this summer, as a new employee, you will be required to fill out a form W-4. That is how the IRS determines how much exemptions is taken out of your paycheck. It is the employee's withholding allowance certificate. Employers use this form to calculate how much federal income tax to withhold from your pay. That includes payroll taxes. Which includes FICA, federal income tax, Social Security, Medicare, things of that nature. So payroll taxes, as a student working over the summer only, you may earn too little from your summer job to owe income tax. But it is a requirement for the employer to take out those payroll taxes. If you are self-employed, say a paper delivery, the hobbies, which I covered on yesterday, if it's a hobby, you may be required to pay your own payroll taxes. So that is something somebody needs to do a scope on that. So Social Security, where is that going? Where is that headed? Also, with payroll taxes, you have withholding and estimated taxes. If you're an employee, your employer normally withholds taxes from your paychecks. If you are self-employed, you would be expected to submit estimated taxes. And all of this is dependent upon the amount of money that you plan on grossing. If you're self-employed and you're only going to be working the summer months and you don't plan on making more than $300 or $400, of course you're not expected to turn in estimated taxes. But if, say, for instance, you start your summer job and it's something that you're able to transition into and continue to work while you're in school, and school starts back up in August, withholding, if you make more than that certain amount, you will be required to submit estimated taxes, or you're supposed to rather. But check with their tax preparer about that. Have somebody that you can contact regarding that. Now, if you work at a restaurant, for instance, and you receive tip income, all tip income is taxable. So you are supposed to keep a daily log to report your tips. If you must report $20 or more in cash, and you must report all of your yearly tips on your tax return. So you're supposed to let your supervisor know how much income you received in tips, and all of that is taxable. I mentioned self-employment. Money you earn working for others is taxable. Some work you do may count as self-employment. These can be jobs like babysitting or lawn care. Keep good records of your income and expenses related to your work. You may be able to deduct those costs. A tax deduction generally reduces the taxes you pay. I did cover this on yesterday, hobby versus business, and how each is treated differently. If it's a hobby, you can only write off up until the amount that you made. If it's a business that you expect to make a profit from, you are able to deduct just about everything. An example for self-employment, the newspaper carrier. There are special rules that apply to newspaper carrier. If you meet certain conditions, you are self-employed. If you do not meet those conditions and are under the age of 18, you may be exempt from Social Security and Medicare taxes. ROTC, if you're in ROTC, active duty pay, such as pay you get for summer advance camp, it's taxable. Other allowances you may receive may not be taxable. So those are things that you would want to look into with your tax preparer. Hopefully you have someone. If you're a certain age, if you're under 18, maybe your parent knows someone that could answer these questions for you. Just have someone that you can speak with regarding tax situations. So that was pretty much that as far as summer, having a summer job. Graduation season is upon us. So if you plan on working this summer, just for the summer months, those are some things to take into consideration. Also, when it's time to file your taxes, even if you only made a certain dollar amount and you are not required to file your taxes, I recommend that you do so, because if you're not required to file taxes, that means you are entitled to all of the federal income tax that you paid in. Not your Social Security and not your Medicare. That is for you when you retire, if it's still here. But if you are not required to file a tax return, but you still made some money, at least file to get your federal income tax back as a refund. So that pretty much wraps it up for me. That is what I wanted to cover. Tax tips for students working this summer. When you go in for your job, you will fill out a Form W-4. That form determines how much payroll taxes is withheld from your paycheck. Payroll taxes include federal taxes, state taxes, Medicare, and Social Security. If you also work at a restaurant and you receive tips, you are to report your tips, especially if you make more than $20. You report that to your supervisor, and you also report that to the IRS. Let's see, and I think that pretty much wraps it up. There are special conditions for newspaper carriers and ROTC. So make sure you have someone trusted that can answer those questions or research those things for you. And I will wrap this up. Let's see. Also, in my title, there is a link that you can click. I have this tip and others pertaining to hobbies, income, self-employment, medical expenses. It is a variety of topics. Just some information. It may be able to answer some of the questions. If you have no one that you can ask these questions, or at least you want to have a good sense of the answer before you speak with someone else about it, so that you'll know what questions to ask and what actually pertains to you. That is something that I get a lot. I think I qualify for this just because my uncle down the road, he did such and such and he got it also. But just because it is available or allowable does not necessarily mean that you qualify. There are income limits and those types of things that have to be taken in consideration to see if you actually qualify for those things. Okay. So other than that, that wraps it up for me. Again, my name is Pamela Mitchell. I am an office management consultant specializing in tax advising for independent contractors and freelancers, so that they are in compliance with IRS regulations and guidelines. Feel free to visit my website, www.pmba.biz. Join my mailing list. And again, the link in the title will take you to the website that has quite a few of the tax tips of this nature. All right, since there are no questions, thank you so much. Have a good evening.